that 30 seconds went fast, didn't it?
It did. It's very dramatic music as well.
It is, isn't it? I like the sparkly background on it. I'm just sending out the message
Okay.
to people. That is literally almost done. She says, okay, that looks right. Yeah,
There's always that kind of minute or two where you're am I live? Am I not? Sending out messages.
We're definitely live because I had to wait for the live to appear to be able to send the message. So, yay! Okay, right, I'm back in the room. We've got 3 people with us already. Lovely. Say hello in the chat if you're here. We may or may not be able to see you. Hi, Mohammed. So we are going to be talking all about being visible and manifesting money with my friend Noleen here, who is a video expert. Do you want to just explain who you are, what you do? Because I just did not sell that very well at all.
Sure, no problem at all. So yeah, my name is Noleen Sliney. And I am a video confidence and perfectionist mentor. So what that means is I help entrepreneurs who know that they really need to be more visible, especially on video. Not even just need, they actually want to, because they want to communicate with their audience more, connect with them on a deeper level, but they're scared to do it. They're scared to hit that go live button, or they really allow perfectionism to get in the way, and they're thinking I have to have the right hair, the right background, the right, fancy equipment, all that stuff. And also I help them as well with getting their offers out there, because again, I really struggled myself with being visible, especially on video. I'm literally my own client. So yeah. I really understand what people are going through. And the same when it comes to perfectionism, like I really allowed it to stop me, first of all, from showing up on video and being visible. Even just one post sometimes would take me like a day, ridiculous, and also with perfectionism, like again, thinking I have to have the perfect sales pages and the perfect this and the perfect wording. And it's so debilitating. And it just ultimately stops us from actually, as you said, making the money. Absolutely. And also helping people. If we are stuck in that perfectionism or overthinking or these fears, it's really not helping us to actually help people. We cannot help people if we're stay hidden. So that's really what I do in a nutshell.
Yeah, and so who here, those of you that are watching, who here struggles from a fear of being visible or perfectionism? Because I always say that perfectionism is the killer of all dreams. And I say that as a recovering perfectionist. We've got some people here saying
There we go. Yeah.
I for 15 years, Noleen, I was a perfectionist. No, I've always been a perfectionist, but for 15 years, my perfectionist stopped me building a coaching business and making money, but more importantly, helping the people I knew I could help, changing their lives so that they could change the lives of others. Exactly. And I was so cross about it, but I think we have to go through that phase of healing our perfectionist. Yes. Sometimes it's a bit of tough love, isn't it?
Yep, it absolutely is.
Yep. Inner work. So a bit of both. And I remember when I first did my first video on Facebook, it was maybe 5 years ago. Yeah. And I recorded it because I couldn't go live. No way. And I recorded it about 36 times, lighting, hair, makeup, tripping over my words. Yeah. I'd never posted that video. Yeah. Because it wasn't perfect, Yeah. Yeah. And I think video is an amazing way to be visible, make money, and help people. Yeah. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Absolutely. The less you care about lighting, hair, makeup, tripping over your words. Yeah. And it enables you to help people, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Literally everything you just said there could be my story. It was the exact same thing, right? I remember thinking, I remember I used to, even for like a 1-minute video, I would write down word for word exactly what I was going to say. And as you said, and I wasn't going live. Gosh, no way. The perfectionist in me would not allow that to happen. No. And it was like, okay. And then I would read the thing and then oh no, I didn't say that word right. I better go again. Like you said, about 36 times for like a 1-2 minute video. And sometimes you didn't even put it out there. And it's absolutely exhausting. It's crazy doing that stuff. And as you said, ultimately, you can't help people when you do that. I wasn't able to help anybody. I wasn't helping myself, but I also wasn't helping anybody else either, So, and as you said, with perfectionism, and really all of this, like even the fears, like, you know, I always say you have to friend your fears, you know, because the fears never fully go away, right? So we have to make peace with that. But also your fears actually aren't bad at all. Your fears are, you're almost like your North Star, right? And they're telling you actually, hold on, you have this idea for a reason, this great idea. You want to do this Facebook Live or this video, or you want to put out this offer or whatever. And then it's like, oh my God, you get so excited. And then, oh, the fears come up, but what if, but what if? And I always say to myself now, because I have friended my fears, I go, okay, oh, right. Well, now actually I know I should do it because this is a really good sign, right? If the fear is there, right, I know it's a good thing. And I see my fears now as a way that it's almost like a sign. Yep, you're supposed to do this, and you're also ready to up level, you know?
Yeah.
As I said, it doesn't mean that they never go away. And there are days where sometimes the fear can be a little bit too loud, but that's when you got to work on it. And again, as you said, sometimes you need that tough love as well. Like sometimes, like it really is a case of, you know, yes, you can sit and you can do all the mindset work. And that, of course, is super important, right? But sometimes you just got to go, screw it. I don't care. I've just got to do it, right? And you've got to take even a teeny, tiny piece of action. And that teeny, tiny piece of micro action, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Okay, I'll do something else. And before you know it, you've done the whole thing. You've made the video, or you've just, you know, you've just done it. Like you just hit the go live button, it's done. Then it's like, oh God, now you're like excited to do another one, you know? Or to put out your offer or whatever, to talk about it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's that journey you have to go on of it's being kind to yourself, but also the tough love, and also taking the action in spite of the fear, no matter what. You know?
Such a good point. And those of you that are watching, both Noleen and I have explained how scared we were to go live. Now, just to let you know, because actually Mohammed's just pointed out you can only see one person watching, we are currently streaming in 5 different places, Noleen, in one go.
It's
Completely
amazing.
unrehearsed,
Yeah.
live,
It's just
doing our
incredible.
thing. Like it, you can get like the fear's always there, like you say, but you get more comfortable with your fear, don't you?
You
Like
do.
the thought, just even a few months ago, the thought of going live on LinkedIn just made me want to run and hide. And hello to LinkedIn. We're on YouTube, we're on my Facebook profile, we're on my Facebook page, we're on my Facebook group, and we're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
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 Crazy.
So
Yeah.
let's have a look. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but one thing I don't think people should ever do on a video is eat or drink. Sorry, I'm going to drink because I
Yeah,
need.
I am as well.
Yeah,
Because actually, when you're talking, and actually, I have a little bit of a sore throat at the
yeah.
moment. So I need to drink because otherwise I'll be coughing or something. So yeah. And I
And
get
it's
the
not
point.
about.
I totally do. And that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you got to do what works for you, you know? Now saying that I do think eating on video, that one I'm a little bit myself.
be a
Yeah.
bit
That
hard.
one's a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
also think that the types of videos
Yeah.
that you probably feel this as well, but the types of videos that get more traction for me, that get me more visibility, that reach more people, are the videos where I am being myself, and I have people comment on my giant mug, on my pretty
Yes.
roses mug, and I always have a drink because
Yeah.
speaking is exhausting for your voice, and
Absolutely.
when you're a coach, you need your voice.
You do. And it's the same when people are standing on stage speaking. Like, again, people would say, oh, you're not supposed to have a drink. But actually, all of the speaking coaches say you do need a drink of
Yeah,
water there. Because
yeah,
actually, it's also a great way as well for, let's say if anybody's nervous, right? Because let's be honest, we all get nervous, especially if you're on a stage or something. But again, even with going live on Facebook or whatever. And it's a great way to just, for a second, calm yourself down, because sometimes we can get a bit, oh my God, I'm sorry. And it's like this. And then it's like, okay, just give myself a breather.
yeah.
Give myself time for a second to have a little drink. It's no big deal.
And it's whatever
Yeah.
gets you through, isn't it? Like
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
if you need the comfort of having a drink of water with you, like I do, I constantly have a, a jug almost of
Yeah.
liquid with me because
Yeah.
I need to drink a lot because I
Yeah.
talk a lot
Yeah.
and I get
Exactly.
dehydrated. And I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
the more I do show up on video, the
Yeah.
more me I become. And sometimes that pisses people off and they go somewhere else. And other times they go, oh, she's quite like me. I like her.
Yes.
And that's part of the marketing as well, isn't it? That attraction marketing.
Yeah.
Also repelling.
Yeah.
Sometimes those people aren't for us. And so these little quirks that we have
Yeah.
are gifts.
Yeah. We see, you've hit the nail on the head there, right? This is exactly what it is about. You know, we think, especially when we start our businesses first, we think it's about, okay, I just need like as many clients as possible. Anybody will do.
Yeah.
And then you realize pretty quickly, like, and the hard way, that is absolutely not the way to go. That is exhausting.
Doesn't it?
It does. It actually hurts more than someone saying, I don't like you. Like,
Yes.
if someone says they don't like you, or someone says, you know, they don't like you drinking a cup of tea or whatever, like, that's not personal. It's just that person's preference. It's okay. There's things I don't like as well. It's okay. It only becomes personal if you allow it to, if you take it that way, you know, and it's just how it is. There are sometimes I've watched people and I'm like, no, they're not for me. There's nothing wrong with that person. It's just not my, excuse the pun, cup of tea or whatever, right? And that's okay. And part of our job is to actually repel people, you know, because you don't want to have the wrong people around. You only want the right people. And you know what? It's, again, that's another point of this as well, is about, it's not about the numbers. It doesn't matter how many likes or comments or anything like that you get. It's irrelevant. Even if you got no likes or comments, that doesn't mean you were bad. It doesn't mean there was something wrong. A lot of the time, there's a lot of people watching, never comment and never like, but they are paying attention, and they may end up being your clients, right? Exactly. So again, the more you are, the better, you know, because actually it's easier to be yourself. It's hard to try and do something that you're not, or to be someone that you're not. Do you know what I mean? So actually, the more you can be, actually, yes, you're going to repel people, but actually you're going to attract more people and more of the right people, you know? So that is, I'm really glad you brought that point up, because I feel it's something that I know I certainly went through as well. I know I hear this from a lot of my clients, and it's a big fear as well why people don't go on video in particular. So like, oh, what? Like, for example, I had a lady one time tell me, oh, you talk too fast. I don't like how you talk. Now, I could have sat there and went, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God. But that's one person. She didn't like it. But the other people that were on that live were like, I love this. This is great. I got clients out of that because I was myself, you know? Exactly. And that's what you've got to be, you know, and don't have that fear. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I think the perfectionist kicks in when someone says, I don't like that about you, or this annoys me. And we end up, I think the perfectionist is part of something much bigger, which I call the good girl complex.
Yes.
Where, you know, I have a group of about 2,500 women, and they all have positive things to say. And then one person outside of the group will say something like, someone commented on one of my posts, scam, a few months ago, and I was like, oh my God, that really hurt me. How did this person misunderstand me and all this? It hurt me a lot less than it would have done a few years ago. But this whole being good and being liked by everyone is a real need for the perfectionist, isn't it? And if one person out of thousands doesn't like you, we take that very personally. So there's a lot of healing to be done on that, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, like, you think about, right, I'm just going to take The Godfather. I don't know why that came into my head, right? But the movie The Godfather, considered one of the best movies of all time, right? You will find people who think The Godfather is a load of crap, right? They think that is awful, right? It's just, again, it's just opinions. And actually, it's what we have to also, part of that healing, and this was for myself as well, was part of the healing was, you know what? It's actually, it's completely unrealistic. Like, it's impossible for everybody to like you, right? It's impossible to get 100% approval, right? Again, you go onto Amazon and look at some of the world's best-selling books, like the Tolkien books, all these kind of things that are around for like decades, right? And you'll have like thousands and thousands and thousands of positive reviews. But you'll also get a few 1-star reviews, or people going, I just only gave it 1 star because I couldn't give it 0. I hate it that much, you know? And it's just opinions. And once we kind of get comfortable with that, you know what, first of all, someone's opinion isn't fact. My opinion isn't even fact. It's just an opinion, right? When we make peace with that, it makes it easier. It's like we let go of that, as you say, perfectionism or that ego. And that kind of allows, it's almost like you lose this kind of like weight, and it's like, oh, my God, I lost that. Now it can just be me. It doesn't matter, you know? And again, just going back to what you were saying about like that, say you get thousands of like really great positive comments, and then you'll get this one that isn't. And we have to be very careful with that as well. Like, again, I'm the same. Like, when we allow that one person to stop us, we're actually doing a disservice to the 2,000 odd others that actually do like us and need us and want us to show up, you know? So again, this is something I, you know, even now still, I still have to be careful of that myself, you know? Because I'm like, right, well, I can sit here and wallow and go, oh my God, this is terrible. This one person said this. Or I can go, well, hold on, there's all these other thousands of people that actually really need what I want. And you know, they're getting great results from it. So what am I going to do? You know?
Yeah. I think what's interesting about people not liking us is if we look at ourselves, I don't like everyone. So why would everyone like me, right? I like most people, to be fair, but there are people that I don't like, and that's okay. I unsubscribe from them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh my God, we seem to take these things so personally sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, that is part of the journey. And just going back to what you said as well, Eloise, like the more you do it, the easier it gets, right?
Yeah.
Like I always say, the goal isn't perfection here, right? You know, there's that practice makes perfect. I disagree with that. Practice makes progress, right?
Yes.
Because that's what we're going for, right?
Yes.
We're going for progress. Even when you reach perfection, right? There's another level to go to. Even
Yeah.
if you reach mastery, there's another level of mastery. And then another level after that. And another, we're never finished. And that's actually, when we make peace with that, actually starts to make it fun and enjoyable. Because then it's like you hit a level, you're like, okay, I want to get to whatever level. I have now this level of confidence or whatever it is I'm doing. And then you start to get comfortable with that, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, well, how can I bring this up a notch now? You know, and that when we come from that mindset, it makes it so much more fun for you. And also that's the energy people are going to pick up on, you know,
Yes.
instead of like this fear, you know, energy and, oh my God, and I better hide and I better not say things. I better not say this or that or be myself, you know.
I think also we have this overwhelming fear that the whole world will see us.
Oh God,
And
yes.
it just doesn't work like that. I mean, for months,
That'd be great, right?
for months, it'd be like 0 people. I used to pretend that there was minions behind my screen and they were cheering me on.
Yeah.
And there was like 1 or 2 people, maybe, mostly 0. I mean, you know, I've got quite a big audience and I've got 18 people. You know, but this is the thing, we think, oh my God, the whole of Facebook, like billions of people are going to see it.
Yeah.
They aren't.
No.
They
And
will
that's
keep going. Like the more you do it, the more the algorithm will show you. But it's not as exposing. And most people, I think 99.9% of people are sat there thinking, oh my God, she went live. That's so brave. I couldn't do that. And they're cheering.
that is so true. Yeah, they absolutely are. That's so true. So there's 2 points to that, right? The first thing is, and again, actually, it reminds me of my own very first time I went live on Facebook. And I remember thinking, oh my God, like, I remember like sweaty palms. I was shaking. I was like, my voice, I don't know how it was going to sound. I was like, okay. And I was like, right, I'll hit that go live button. And then I did it. And I was like, again, I don't know, 2-minute video. And I just like did an intro of who I am or whatever. And then I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, like there's nobody there, you know? So on one hand, I had this massive fear of, oh my God, I'm going to go live and the world is going to see it. And then I was like disappointed that nobody did, right? So actually then I started to realize, you know, okay, obviously like the first few times I might show up live or whatever, or even if it's recorded for some people, you know, you're like so nervous, you put it out and then you're like, on one hand, you're hoping nobody sees it, but then after a while, you're like, no, I do want people to see. And then you're going live and you're like, oh, how can I get more people to see this? And, you know,
they
because you
start
want that
appearing, don't
interaction.
they? They start
Exactly.
appearing,
And then you're like,
people are watching.
yeah. And then there's a little bit nerves again, but then there's also great because you start to realize actually why you're doing this.
Yeah.
And you're doing it because, as I said at the beginning, like you want to interact with people. Like we're all here, whatever you do in your business, it's probably to help people in some way, right? So you know, that either have a problem you can help them with or a desire that you can help them fulfill, or maybe it's a bit of both, right? So for me, I know it's a bit of both, okay? So when you start tapping into that as well, more than those fears, and then you're excited to have those conversations with people, and then they ask you questions or they leave comments, they're like, oh, great, I can help you with that, you know, and then all of a sudden you're so out of your head, it's not about you anymore, and it's about helping the people that you're here to help, you know? Yeah. So again, it's one of the big things I always say as well is, and again, I still use this myself, I tap into, okay, well, why am I doing this? Like, if those fears are coming up, it's like, okay, well, what's the reason I'm doing this? And all of a sudden, the fears they're so quiet or maybe not there at all. And it's like, oh, no, hold on. And maybe even you start to picture a particular person. Maybe there's someone in your audience, you know, who will massively benefit from this, you know, or maybe clients, you know, that you already have, or even if you're only starting out, like it's like still getting in, okay, I have this person in my mind who I know will massively benefit from this. And you start showing up from that point. And again, as I said, it not only quietens the fear, but it makes it fun and enjoyable for you, which again is the energy that people are going to pick up on, right?
Absolutely. And I think, if a post or a video I do hits home for one person, that's my job done for that day,
Exactly. Yeah.
And that it's a beautiful way of manifesting more money into my life, but also through a route that feels really aligned. I mean, I've got nothing against jobs. I've had jobs all my life, but I've never really felt as free and beneficial to the people that I was talking to as this does. This is the work you do, the work I do, it changes people, doesn't it? Not just showing up on video, it changes their confidence, it changes the way they think about interacting with people, it changes the way they handle people who don't interact with them or are snidey with them. So and it's such an aligned way to get people to see who you are and decide whether or not they want to work with you, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I'm the same as you. Like, I come from a corporate background. I worked in the corporate finance for over a decade, and it was the same as you. I never was fulfilled in my job. Like, like sometimes I'd work like 12, 16-hour days, and I'd come home at the end of the day and think, okay, like, what did I actually achieve today? Right. Whereas doing this work now, it's like you visibly see it with people. Like, and as you said, like, it changes their relationship with themselves as well. Like I regularly get comments. I have one actually on my YouTube channel, a video one of my clients made, and she said, like, it's been life-changing for me. And I have visibly seen her when she started first working with me and where she is now, and she shows up as a different person, and there's still even more levels to go to, and even with myself. So I agree with you, it is. And also with video, I think what we need to remember with, and again, this was something that really helped me as well, with like, I never use scripts anymore. I just talk. I'll have a few bullet points, but that's it, and I'll just talk naturally. And what I realized was video is just a conversation, right? It's not a UN speech. We're not in the House of Parliament having to do this perfect speech or anything, right? Just having a chat with someone like you would if they were sitting in a room with you. And I also think of video as like, oh my God, aren't we so fortunate, right? To have this brilliant form of communication available to us that we never had before. It's easy now to communicate with people. So it's not even like, we might have the fears, but actually, again, if you change your mindset and go, my goodness, isn't it amazing? I can communicate with someone in seconds. I can get this idea and go, oh, I'm going to go live now, right? Or even just, we can do video calls with people all around the world. It's crazy. Like, I'm an expat. I live abroad. I lived abroad for years. I feel closer now to the people that I was, from home than when I was there. You know, because it's like you can just pick up the phone and see them, or you can do a Zoom, or, as I said, a Facebook Live or whatever. So it really is this amazing way we can communicate with people. And I'm a real believer in, like, I still do written posts, and it's absolutely vital to have a variety of content. But I also feel that with video, like, you could write a post, like even the best copywriters, or again, best authors or journalists, you might love what they write, and you love the written word, right? But you'll see them on a video, or you'll see them on an interview. And oh my God, when you hear and see them, it's like it amplifies those words. It has a completely different connotation for you. When you're reading again, you hear them and see them, and you've made a much deeper connection with them than you ever would just reading what they're saying,
And what's amazing about particularly, Facebook, all of these channels that we're streaming on, is never before has there been an opportunity that has been free to do this. Like, to do this, even 20 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, I can't remember when Facebook Lives came about, you had to pay for production, post-production, advertising, and placement. We don't have to pay for this, especially when you get started. You don't need to pay. It's free. It's like Facebook's gift to you.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like, people complain about social media, and I get it, of course, but I believe social media is great because it's more about your intention and how you want to use it, right? So I know I'm using social media for good, right? So yes, there are a lot of people out there, and they're coming out with nasty comments and all sorts of horrible stuff, right? But also then I also feel, well, then that's my responsibility to show up and do the opposite, right? And show there is an alternative, right? And this is why we, again, as you said, we have this platform for free, right? Whichever one you're on, or all of them, we're on all of them today, right? How amazing is that?
So
you know, so again, that's why, like, I hear people complain about as I said, Facebook, and look, you may not agree with everything, right? I don't either. That's fine, right? But again, as I say, it's the intention that I have to use it, right? And there's also a lot of great people on there. I love the communities there. Again, wherever you are, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it is, right? And it's about finding your people. And we have this opportunity to do that, right? And again, people complaining about, oh, the algorithms and all of that. Well, no, like, the algorithm's not for or against you. It's a piece of software. It's not capable of that, doing that, right? So again, it's about like using it. Okay, how can I get my videos out more? How can I get my message out? Because I know I can help people and do good, right? So yeah, there's a lot of horrible people out there and they seem to be louder. The difference between them and us is they maybe have more confidence and they're like, screw it, I don't care. I'm going out there anyway. So we kind of have to almost adopt that confident mentality, not saying what they're saying, obviously, but if you know what I mean, but also the confidence side of what they're doing and going, hold on, and what's the bigger picture here? You know?
Exactly. And sometimes those people that are out there being confident don't have as good a product or service as my particularly my clients have. My clients have amazing, yours too, have amazing things to share.
Yeah.
And these people that are not as good are out there making money. Fair play to them. The reason these really, really exceptional clients are not is because they are scared of being visible. That's the only difference, is the confidence, isn't it? When we work with Money Alchemy, what we find is that confidence in yourself grows, and it works both ways. So working with video, growing your confidence will help you manifest more money because more people will see you. You'll be helping more people. Those people will be telling all their friends about you. I mean, I get so many messages saying, oh, my friend so-and-so referred me to you and I can't wait to get involved and all that. And this is the power of social media, but particularly videos. I try and do at least 3 videos a week.
Brilliant.
At least. Some of them are short, some of them are long, but the more confidence you get, the easier it is to manifest the money and the clients and the referrals and have the impact that you so desperately want to have as a soul-led businesswoman, right?
Yes, absolutely. And again, that's a great point. Again, going back to that's about tapping into your mission, right? So again, you know, one of the big things that a lot of people have when they come to me, it's they either have a fear of being visible at all, right? Or sometimes I have people who come to me where they're already visible, they're already showing up on video, they're somewhat visible, but their big fear then is around selling on video, right? So that is a massive big one for them, right? And again, I had huge fears and blocks and all sorts of things around selling. And oh my God, when I think about the way I used to talk about selling, it's horrendous. Like, I'd be like, I hate selling, I'm crap at selling. Oh my God, of course I wasn't making sales then, right? It's ridiculous. And also I wasn't doing it, right? Because I was and I always remember one day I got this email from a lady. She was actually someone who was in my community for years. And I think we had worked together maybe one time. But anyway, but she knew me, right? And then she messaged me one day and she's like, oh, Noleen, I'm wondering, do you know anybody who does this particular service? I can't remember what the service was at the time. And I'm there going, oh my God, like, what's she talking? I offered that. Like, why is she saying, she knows that I do this? And I was almost like angry about her, right? And then I sat back and I went, but Noleen, you haven't told anybody you're doing this, right? Of course she doesn't know, right? And then that was a big aha moment for me to start thinking, whoa, okay, I got to do something about this. So again, I had to work, and that's part of, as you know, the money mindset part as well. And also thinking about selling as serving, right? And that's one of the big things as well. So I say tap into your mission, right? So for example, I have my Mission Million, which is where I want to work with 1 million entrepreneurs to help them to be visible and seen and get their message out there. And then so that they could work with 1 million of their also 5-star solo line clients as well, right? So that's part of my mission. But also then when I think about selling, I think about, well, why do I want to sell, right? Well, obviously we need money because we want to, you know, we have to look after ourselves, we have to have a house, etc., right? And live and eat. But then for me, the other side of it goes deeper again, right? So I want to have money, obviously, for nice things for myself, holidays, experiences, things like that. But I'm a huge, like very, very passionate about animals and animal, welfare. So for me, again, selling is about, right, okay, well, the more money I make, the more money I can give to animal charities, right? And again, these are very, very big, important things to keep in your mind as well. That's like, okay, well, if you are, say, scared of selling on video, right? Well, okay, then why do I want this money, right? What's the impact I want to make with this money?
Yeah.
And by the way, it's okay if you want it for, say, you know what, I want to buy myself a new pair of shoes.
Absolutely.
That's still a good motivator, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's selfish.
Yeah.
But it just, again, getting into that headspace of what's the impact I want to make? What do I want to do with this money is also a great way to get over, to quieten down the fears anyway.
Yeah.
And show up.
I read Denise Duffield Thomas's Chillpreneur book, and she says, marketing is manifesting and selling is serving. And here's the thing about selling. I used to feel bad about my prices, selling. Thing is, if you give people stuff for free, they value it as though it costs them nothing. There's no motivation. And so selling them a product that costs them money encourages them to do the work. It makes them feel a little bit uncomfortable, just uncomfortable enough to do the work and get the results. Like, it is an important part of, it's not just about funding all the wonderful things that you want to do. I'm very animal friendly as well. I give to 2 animal charities at the moment, but this weekend's been funding my local emergency vet. Thanks.
Yeah.
Weekend.
That's good too, because he does good work, right?
Yeah, but you know, like, we all need. We've all bought like $37 courses or downloaded free courses and gone, haven't got time, right? But when you invest in not even high price, but high for you, because that changes as you increase your income. High for you, you are more committed to it. I can see the people that come into my world that buy from me where my prices are too low because they never log in. They buy it and they never log in.
Yeah.
Which used to make me feel really sad, but now I'm like, okay, but it's there for them when they do need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, and the people that I know have really committed to it, they're in there every day doing the work, feeling the difference. It's really powerful.
It really is.
So, Noleen, we've got several people watching, and there'll be lots more watching on Catch Up as well. But what would be your top tips for getting visible through video?
Oh gosh, this is a great one. Okay, well, the first one is, it's going to sound maybe cheesy or whatever, but I don't care. Just start. Like, literally just start, right? Like, you can sit there and plan and think and all this and what am I going to say? If you're really stuck on what to say, and just introduce yourself. That's a very simple way to just get started. And again, it gets the ball rolling. So even if maybe you are on video, or maybe you've, say, haven't done any for a while, a very simple one to get, as I say, just get started with is, hi, I just wanted to reintroduce myself. My name is, this is what I do. And you can also maybe ask a little question at the end. Say, tell me a bit about yourself. It just gets the ball rolling. Or you can say, book a discovery call with me, or leave a lead magnet link, whatever. Like, there's lots of different ways, but just start. Something is always better than nothing, right? So that would be one of my first tips. The second thing is, like, again, don't overthink things, right? I really don't believe in scripting things. I've done that. Like, there are templates out there. Oh yeah, and this could be a whole thing as well about AI. I'm actually about to put out a video about that. Like, you don't need a machine, right, to tell you what to say. It's already in your head, okay? You are smart, you are intelligent, you're here for a reason, right? You got this far in life, okay, because you're absolutely smart. You're a business owner because you're smart, right? Yeah. So you don't need to rely on those things, right? And I know it's scary, and I know that seems like, oh my God, and you feel you need this crutch of everything written down, but you don't. Literally just grab, I don't know, like I often grab, so where's my little Post-it notes? I grab my Post-it notes. Other brands are available, of course. Write down, okay, what do I want to say? What's the bullet point, right? So it could be like 3 just basic things. And again, and also, by the way, I just want to say on that as well, for the perfectionists, it's okay if you look down at your notes.
Yes.
Nobody cares.
No, and I do say to people, I go, oh, I've got some notes here because I have a tendency to go off on tangents.
Yes.
So then they know that, firstly, I've prepared.
Well, exactly. I think it's a good thing, actually. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So is there any other tips?
So yeah, let me think. There was actually one, sorry, there was in my head. I know it's gone. What was I going to say? So we were talking about the notes. Yeah. And again, like, remember, speak as if you're like in a room with somebody, right? Like, as I said earlier, like, you're not giving a big UN speech here. You're not like in the Houses of Parliament. It's not a presidential speech. Like, in fact, that actually comes across very stiff and very, not even polished is not even the word. It doesn't come across well, because like nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like, so this is what I want to say today and blah, blah. Like you don't need, like, even if you think about newsreaders, right? Like, yes, they have their auto cue, right? But then when they're there and there's somebody saying in the studio with them, or they have someone on the screen they're interviewing, like they don't have a script then, right? Like it's just the conversation flows, right? So it's the same with you. Like, and again, just if you need to, like, as you were saying, for example, I used to do the same as well. Like, pretend there's someone in the room, like get some stuffed toys and put them around and pretend like you're talking to someone, like it's an actual conversation. Or another one that I used to do was I used to put write people's names on a post-it, and I'll put it up. So like say Eloise, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm just talking to Eloise, right? Or pick someone in your audience that you know, or a friend or whatever, if you want to. And again, that makes it very easy then to just speak freely and to just talk. Okay. And again, I go back to something else we were talking about earlier, is it's okay if nobody comments or likes. Those things don't matter. Like, somebody is always watching. Always, always, always. We had friends staying here with us the last few days, right? These friends are not in business, right? And one of them, he was like, I love your videos. I was like, you see my videos? And he's like, yeah, I watch them all the time. And he was quoting stuff from my videos. I'm like, you're joking. I didn't even know you were watching them, right? Again, a lot of the clients I have, they don't watch they have seen my videos,
but they're not commenting.
They're not the people. Exactly.
Mine too. I'd say
don't worry about that stuff.
60 to 70% of the people that join my programs, I've not seen them comment. They just join.
Yeah.
Like, where did they come from?
Yeah. Because there's numerous reasons why people don't comment or like, right? I mean, you think about yourself. Sometimes you'll see a video, you could be out on the run somewhere and you're watching it, but you don't have time to comment. Or you think, do you know what, I'm going to go back to that later, and then you forget about it, right? Like, it's just how it is, and actually this is a great one as well, by the way, for selling. If you are selling, you're thinking, oh, nobody's doing anything. People don't see things. Like, you've got to do it like 10, 15 times, because they maybe that the 15th time you show up and you sell is the one time they've seen it. They may not have seen the other 14 times, and don't worry about
I still go, I didn't know the doors were open. Don't they? Even after 15, you're like, oh my goodness. Like, we think that people are getting annoyed with all of our posts and videos, and they're not even seeing them, Noleen, are they?
Exactly. And we think that once we've put something out there, as you said, like the thing of, oh my God, the world sees it. First of all, they don't, right? As I said, it's about, what is it like? I mean, you get a better reach with videos than you do with written posts, But again, it's also our responsibility. And this to go back to the algorithm thing, it's like, it's your responsibility to share it, right? Yeah. You've got to, you put out something, you've got to, like this video today, right? We're going to be sharing this. Yeah. You can't just say, okay, this is it, it's out there, and then that's it. And, oh, nobody watched. Well, no, it's our responsibility to share it with our audiences, right? Exactly. And share it again and share it again, Yeah. So, I hope those tips are somewhat helpful there.
Yeah. That's a really good point, actually, because your videos can end up being content that you can reuse. You reuse them every few months, maybe. Or if a client says to you, just asked you a question about being visible and how it actually links to manifesting money. We can send them a link to this video, so it becomes evergreen content, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I think we also think we always need to be creating new things all of the time. And whilst that is true at the start, you can start reposting and sharing, can't you?
Absolutely. I have a whole masterclass I created on this. Actually, I just ran a live version of it recently, and it was all about that. And people were like, oh my God, I didn't even think of these different ways I could use this thing. And again, I was like, I really had so much resistance to repurposing for so long. I kind of almost felt like, no, that's lazy. I can't do that.
It's dishonest, isn't it?
Yeah. In fact, it's not only it's essential you do, because again, we forget that there's new people coming into your audience all the time. Yeah. Right? So you might have put out a video 6 months ago, but what if someone only came into your audience 2 months ago? They didn't see it, right? So they might need to re-see it. Or even if someone did see it 6 months ago, when you put it out again now, they've forgotten, by the way, because nobody remembers you don't even remember all your own content, right? No. But also they might need to hear that again, or maybe they'll have a different take on it this time because they're in a different place than they were. Like for example, with you or what you do with money, that's continually evolving, right? So yes, they might have seen that video 6 months ago and they had a particular reason for watching it then, or it helped them then, but now they're at a different level with their money journey. And now there's a new thing they uncovered when they hear you say it, even though it's the same message. Yeah. So it's so important that we continually share all of our stuff with people and continue to put it out. Because as I said, no, you've even forgotten your content. So if you've forgotten it, guaranteed everybody else has as well.
Yes, they have, yeah. And like I say, people actually don't remember. So I've got a few like static posts that go out quite regularly. And I know people that have been in my world for a few years, they're like, oh my God, I so needed to hear that. Like, that's really made so much sense. And I think, oh, I thought you'd seen that like 15 times before, but they hadn't. Like, or it didn't mean anything to them at that time.
Yeah. So true. And again, these are great ways to get like, you know, we talk about the algorithm, right? These are great ways to get the algorithm working for you, right? So again, like, let's say you share, like I do this all the time, right? Like exactly as you were saying, like I have videos there and I might have a new client working with me, or even in my group, in my membership, right? Sometimes someone will ask a question like, oh, do you know what? I have a video I made like a year ago or a few months ago on that. And what I do is I actually go down and tag them on the video, right? On my feed. They go and watch it and comment. And all of a sudden that's back up in the algorithm. And all of a sudden you've got loads more people watching it again.
Yeah.
Really, really simple, right? So you don't even need to create the new content. It's constantly coming up. Or again, you can pin one of your videos. Like I always have a pinned video at the top that's there. They're generally made months ago. But again, when new people come into my audience, it's the first thing they see. And again, actually, because it's a video, right? And it's not a long video, but because it's a video, they're instantly getting a feel for who I am, right? So they could go and scroll through my feed and read my posts and, oh yeah, that's great, whatever. But boom, instantly they can hear me, see me, and visualize what it's like to work with me or be in my energy, you know? So again, I always recommend to people, even if it's like a 1 minute reel or a 1 minute intro or 2 minute intro, have something like that at the top of your Facebook page or your profile or LinkedIn or whatever, wherever you are, Instagram, whatever. It's a really powerful one. Yeah, do. It's so simple. Like it doesn't even have to be a new video. It can be an old one. Doesn't matter, but it gives people that instant, as I say, feel for who you are.
Yeah, and they know straight away whether they like you or not. And that's the point of marketing, isn't it?
Yeah. And also that can be, sorry, just really quickly, sorry, those were finished now. That can also lead to sales. Like I have had people who've seen just one video, just landed on my page, right? Or my profile, saw that video and they're like, oh my God. And they'd reach out to me and either want to have an inquiry about working with me or actually do work with me.
Yeah.
Like it can work that fast. Whereas they could have read 100 of my posts and still don't work with me. You know?
Totally. And what I love about pieces of content that do that is you start to attract hyper buyers, don't you? People who literally go around your world and buy everything that you do and come back saying, can I buy anything else? How else?
And they're like, oh, I need something new.
You know, which is wonderful.
It's lovely. It's a good complaint to have.
One thing I wanted to talk about is hiding in plain sight. Things like having your Facebook profile set so that the audience is private. Things like being on TikTok when you know your ideal clients probably are on Instagram or Facebook. What do you think about that hiding in plain sight thing?
Oh, I just love this. First of all, done it all, been there, done that.
Me too.
Sometimes still do it every now and again, and then I have to get out of that, you know. But yeah, it is absolutely a thing. And actually, I did a little 3-part mini series recently on my Facebook talking about this very topic.
Ah, great.
So yeah, and
I didn't see that. I'm friends with you. I didn't see that.
See, there you go. Exactly, right? So there you go. So I'll tag you on it so you see it, and it'll go up the link then, or go up to take the feed. But yeah, it is such a big one, right? And we think that we're being visible. So it's kind of like what I was saying about earlier. I thought I was selling, but I wasn't, right?
Yeah.
I'd put out maybe one video or one post sharing my thing and think, oh, that's all I was selling. Like I wasn't. Yeah. So it's the same with being visible. You think you are, but you're not, right? Yeah. So again, it really comes back to, again, a lot of those fears, right? It is the same thing, right? Now, going back to having your videos private, right? Or your posts private, okay? So first of all, again, it's that thing is you think that if I make this public, everybody's going to see it, right? They're not, right? Again, I think certainly for me, one of the big things about turning my posts from private to public, there was a big fear for me about talking about my business on my private profile on Facebook, right? And I was like, God, what if the people I know see it, my friends and family and all this? Oh my God, well, what will they think? Well, okay, if they think things, they think things. There's nothing you can do about it. Again, it's that thing about their opinions. They're not your ideal clients. Like, unless they actually are, it doesn't matter. And I mean this with love, but their opinions don't matter. Like some of the things they'll say to you, like, oh yeah, when your nose looked this way on the video, that's not helpful, right? So just ignore it and move on, okay? Because
And they like to comment on price as well. Oh, that was a bit expensive.
Yeah. When they're never going to be your client, they don't even know what you do, right? So there's that side of it. However, the other side is what you'll actually, again, that's very, very small number of people, right? If it even happens at all. What you'll find is actually a lot of your friends and family. So going back to, as I said, one of our friends, I didn't even know he was watching my videos, and he's getting inspired by those, right? So you'll actually find that you are inspiring your friends and family as well. Like I've had friends who now have businesses because they're like, that really inspired me actually, Noleen, to take action, right? Yes. So again, it's that when you are a leader, you're leading by example, right? Yes. So you're scared, but you're doing it anyway. That inspires people, either your audience or your friends and family, right? And again, this is another part. Maybe this is a part of a tip as well. It's okay to show up and be scared. Like you don't have to be perfect with this. It's okay to even show up. Like I remember one of my first videos, and I showed up and I said, look, this is like one of my first few videos. I'm still really nervous, so please be kind to me or something like that. And people are really, really nice. They're like, oh my, as you said, like they're like, God, the courage you have to do that. I don't have that. Aren't you so brave or whatever, you know? And it helps you as well. And it also helps them. Okay. But again, turning to the private again, turning your post to public. Look, if you're in a business and you want to help people, right? Again, you have to tap into that mission. You know, what do I want to do? And actually opening your profile up to more people is a great thing, because you're going to help even more people. You're going to inspire even more people, right? So again, as I made this a 3-part series, so, you know, it could be a bit longer, obviously, but I just kind of wanted, hopefully that quick overview helps. But again, you know, and it's just taking those micro steps.
Absolutely.
Like, so what? Like, if it's not perfect, big deal. At least you tried, you know? And again, like you've started, right? Actually, it gives you confidence rather than going, oh my God, that's terrible. Like you've started. You've done something that 99% of people won't do. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Exactly. And if you keep doing it, you will get, not easier, but you'll get better at it.
Yes.
And even more people fall off. So it becomes like 99.9999999, and you become the minority. You become the go-to person, because not only are you showing up, but you're showing up with consistency. People see you, they trust that you're there. You know, I've been here for 4 years doing this, and people trust that because I've got time served. And so, like, it's worth doing it, even if no one's commenting. One thing I did to help my visibility is everyone that I love and want to speak to in my life is in my phone on WhatsApp. Right, so I deleted all my friends and family that I felt weren't going to be supportive.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. Idea. The difference between the live that I did before I did that and the live that I did after that, it was like, I felt like I was like, I've arrived, because I didn't have that dialogue in my head. Like people are going to judge me. So
that's a really great tip. Actually, I never thought of that one, but I do like that. Yeah. It's really good. And again, we should, like, you know, I'm saying we shouldn't let it bother us, but sometimes it does, right? Like, we're human, right? You know, and as you said, if it really is bothering you, then what you did, I think, is a great way to do that. As you said, then maybe unfriend people on Facebook and just have them in your phone, or maybe have a separate one just for them, but you have like a business one. Now, I personally think that's too much faffing about. I couldn't be bothered. I just want the one. But yeah.
But most of my people didn't even notice that I'd unfriended them, which was hilarious. And the ones that did, I just said, look, I'm using it for business. I'm just going to be talking about my business. You and I don't talk about that. We talk about other stuff. So you're in my WhatsApp. Like, that's my special place.
And that makes them feel special then as well. So it's like, I only talk to you here and I'm just for you here. So I think that's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So oh my goodness, thank you, Noleen. What has being visible changed for you?
Oh gosh, I mean, that's a whole thing in itself as well. So much. Like, first of all, my relationship with myself, like, it has literally, like, when we start off with this, like, you know, you start to, it's not that you hate yourself, but like, it brings up a lot. Oh my God, is that how I sound? Is that how I look? Oh my God. And then it made me get over myself, you know, and it made me actually love myself. Like, and I don't mean to sound conceited by saying this, but like, I really like my videos. I like seeing myself on video now. And it's not that I sit and watch all my own videos, but it's just sometimes you have to, because if I need something for a bit of content or I'm editing something, like I see it. But actually, again, I like that now. I don't have a fear of seeing or hearing myself. And I like that. And I like myself more.
That's a really good point, though, actually.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch your videos back. In fact, I'd recommend it at the
Yeah.
start. Do not
No,
watch
not at the start. No,
just
I
don't
agree. Yeah.
until you need.
Or if you are going to do it, because this is something that I sometimes get some of my clients to do, is if you are going to watch them back, what I suggest is you do it with the not looking for what's wrong, look for what's right. So I get them to do this exercise and say, give me 5 things that you love about that video. I don't want to hear what you don't like. You pick 5 things, and they start like, oh, I don't know. And before they know it, they've got 10 things they like.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I like my hair, or actually I do. Do you know what? Actually, what I'm saying is really good. God, I am an expert.
Yeah.
They start to see themselves in a different light. And that was an exercise I started doing with myself. And I still do, because again, there'll be the odd day I'm like, oh God, no, that's not great. I'm like, no, hold on. I catch it. I'm aware of it. And I go, no, what do I like about it? What was really good? And then I'm like, you have a completely different energy about it then, completely different perspective, and you even feel it in your body. Like, you're like this, and then you're like, oh, well, hold on, like, I'm pretty good.
Do you find that being visible helps you manifest more clients and therefore money?
Absolutely. That was going to be the second part, because video has changed, like absolutely completely changed my business. When I started using video, like, it's almost like, not that clients were coming from and nowhere all of a sudden, because obviously it takes time. But as I said, like, now what happens with me is I can put out one video and I'll get a client from it. Like someone who's never seen me before, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, thanks for, like, for example, one of the things I do is send personalized video messages instead of replying to emails. And that has been hugely impactful for me, hugely beneficial for my business, because again, people always say about that, oh, you need 7 to 27 touches. And I would say it's even more these days, because we have so much information. But it's a video, like, and they instantly saw me, they heard me. A lot of the time it's like, oh, you're Irish, your accent, they get a lot of that as well. But again, they've also, like, because I've explained in the video just really quickly, like, how I work, what I do, they're like, great. And like, that's it, straight away they're working with me. So it has greatly changed. And again, even the relationship I have with my, my current audience, like, again, people that say where I was only maybe sending them emails, or they only saw my posts, and all of a sudden I was doing video, and they're like, oh, that's how you sound. Oh, I never knew that. Oh, that's what you look like, or again, it's like they will pick up, like, again, it's that conversation, right? It's just conversational. And again, I go back to about the thing about not being perfect. Like, people can't relate to that. Like, if I show up and let's say we're talking about money, right? And someone is like so perfect with all their money, I'm like, well, I'm not. So I can't relate to that person, right? I have a lot of my own crap, right? I need to sort, and I can. And that's one of the reasons I really love you, Eloise, because you show up and you tell your story and you say, I had a bad day and this is how it is. And again, this is something that one of my clients, actually, she did a video testimonial for me recently. And she said, one of the things I love about Noleen is just she shares her own journey and she shares her own stuff. And I'm not perfect, right? And I'm not going to claim to be. And I used to think at the beginning that that's what I had to be. And that was one of the reasons that stopped me showing up. And actually, when I showed up on video and was just like saying, gosh, I also have fears, or, oh, I was so nervous in that video today, or, oh, I had a bit of a perfectionism got in the way today, but this is what I did to get over it. Because again, you want to show up with not from the victim place, you want to show up also from okay, but this is also what I did, that's a really good thing. And people, they want that. They want to know that you understand them and get them. And the more imperfect you are, the better. I'm not saying, by the way, show up any old way. That's not what I mean here either. Like,
I don't
showing up in your pajamas and all this kind of thing. That's not very professional, of course. But people do want to see you being just you. And I have found that by doing that and just being me and just being who I am actually has worked out so much better for me than the other way of trying to be perfect or something that I thought I should be.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something I struggled with as well. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not a guru. I'm not well known. I haven't done enough courses. I mean, goodness me, I've spent over £100,000 on courses. I've definitely done enough courses. But what I find is, like, people are often, it's too far. The gurus are too far away from people that we're working with, right? Yes. They want to be able to touch you, like, metaphorically. They want to go, oh, like, not that long ago, she was in this situation and now she's doing better. And you don't have to be a guru. They can be on your journey with you, and you're kind of a few steps ahead of them. You know, I'm a few steps ahead of some of my clients. I'm a lot of steps ahead of some, and some of my clients have surpassed me, which is like amazing. I'm so friggin' proud of them. Do you know what I mean? So like we can be on that path still. We don't have to stand there going, I know everything I say is gospel. We don't have to do that, do we? And people feel more connected to us
Exactly.
when we show up honestly on this path with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I like, especially if you say you're like myself or yourself, where what we do is like we wear our clients, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and some people really complain about this thing where, you know, there's that phrase where they say you only have to be one step ahead of your ideal client, right? And some people get really angry about that, like, oh no, you don't, you have to have this and that. I'm sorry, I disagree. You one step ahead is enough, because it's exactly as you said, right? Like, so for example, for you, Eloise, it's like, right, your clients are maybe like really at the, like, for example, your story of when you were in debt, right? Maybe your clients are there. And then you give them hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel because you were there too. And they see, well, this is where she was and this is where I am now. And that's where she is now. Okay, this is doable for me, right? It's the same with me with video, right? People see me now, but this is not how I used to show up when I started. I was shit scared, right? I was so nervous, right? I was like, oh my God, as I said, like it took me 72 takes to do one blooming 2-minute video, right? My voice was shaking and I was like, quiet like this or whatever, right? You know, whereas like, you know, I had to take those first steps to get started. But again, this is what I love showing up and sharing my journey, because I know what it's like to feel like that. I know what it's like to feel scared, you know, and as I said, it's still, those never go away fully. It's always a journey. And also letting people know that, okay, let go of that perfection of, right, it's going to be A to B and then once you're at B and that's it. No, actually, and make peace with that and also start to enjoy that journey, you know. So I hope that makes sense there, but yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And where can we find you, Noleen? What's the best way to interact with you?
Sure. So Facebook is probably the best place to interact with me. So I'm Noleen Sliney on there. So just my name. I do have a page, but I'm actually not on the page as much anymore. I'm mostly on my profile now. So that's where you'll find me. I'm also on LinkedIn and Instagram, also just as my name, Noleen Sliney, but I'm mostly on Facebook. So that's probably the best place to connect to me. So friend request me and we can have a chat. I love reaching out to people. I love connecting with people. And yeah, I just love seeing what other amazing people in the world are doing as well. So yeah, reach out to me. Let's have a little chat.
Brilliant. I could talk to you all day, Noleen. So
same here. Oh my God. So much fun.
So thank you so much for your time. I'm just going to end the stream. But thank you everyone who's watching live and on replay. Hope you found this interesting and useful. Go and check out Noleen. She does videos very regularly. She'll give you loads of confidence and tips. And yeah, she's an absolute joy. So thank you, Noleen.
Thank you, Eloise, and thank you everybody for being here. I didn't get a chance to read all the comments, I'm afraid, so hopefully we can go back later and have a good look.
Go back.
But yeah, I hope everybody found this valuable, and yeah, just go for it. Get out there and make your videos. People want to hear from you, right?
Yeah. See you